All right, we are live for the March 5th slate. We got conference tournaments going on. We got um, regular season winding down for the P5s here. Some other conferences. So big day is coming up for college hoops here, getting to the nitty-gritty of the tournaments.
Yeah, it's maybe my favorite time in sports outside of I think December and November is a slept-on month in sports for sure because you just have every games. But this is just the best, man. This is when March really starts. You got kids playing for your lives. Didn't see as many fouls tonight in the Atlantic Sun opening up. But yeah, Stooley, I've been doing this for a couple of years, Trev. So I like to build out the brackets myself and then maybe just copy some standings, keep it side by side, and then try my best to just keep track of them. I like to, and I had like an Excel sheet last year, but we're gonna just do it on Twitter this year and have some fun with it, man. So, but it's the best time of the year in my opinion.
Absolutely it is. I've already got next week entirely off. Well, I'm going to work on Monday. My boss ain't there, so I can kind of dick around and sit on my phone watching some games a little bit longer. So I was like, I'll show up Monday, and then I'm off the Tuesday for the rest of the week. I'll be parked downstairs with my four TVs. I'm sure you guys have seen it on my Twitter. The setup I got, so I'll be having everything on all day. I'll be degenning, ripping my hair out, crying about all the units I'm losing. But it's March. This is what we live for. So we're going all out. Coming weeks here, and then yeah, the real tournament. I think it's like 10 days away or some shit like that. Like we're pretty damn close. So
Yeah, just about 10. It's if you need the countdown, John Rothstein does it every day. So um filling out a bracket, man. Is there anything better? I don't think so, but then you fill out like five or more. And last year, my dog, his first ever bracket, I laid out two things, and he picked UConn to go away. I'm not even kidding. He picked UConn. He had some wild other upsets. He didn't get Princeton right, but he had some wild upsets too. So I'm pumped, man. I'm pumped. I'm ecstatic. Glad you got off work for some of it. That's for sure. It's always nice.
yeah, I think it's been probably 6 or 7 years since I've actually worked the tournament. This will be my third year taking off for conference tournaments. So I this and deer season are about all I take off of work for. So I was like, you know what? I'll spend an extra week. Why not? We'll sit here and spend the best decision I've ever made. It's the greatest time.
A tree stand with a few TVs is not a bad little hideout for conference tournament and March Madness. You know, you get a little setup, maybe bring some snacks in a cooler, just ride it out for 10 hours.
Yeah, I mean the place I go to, we got a stand where when Michigan finally beat Ohio State, I think it was 2 years ago. They finally beat Ohio State football. Um, I was sitting in the trees in the stand, and it's got a heater in there, so it was like 70 degrees. I had my jacket off, phone propped up, watching the Michigan game, just keep an eye out. So it's a great time, yeah. So maybe I should talk him into getting some TVs, some Roku's or something, see what we got
Put
going.
a little 10 out of it. Not even looking for deer at that point. It's just like a little adult
Right.
treehouse. Adult
The getaway
treehouses.
from DJing.
There's our business idea. Adult
Adult
treehouses one
treehouse.
day.
All right.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
All
I'll
right.
mark
Well,
that down.
my
Let's take
man,
us
it's
into the conference tournaments. Yeah,
yeah.
you're the man with the info and the brackets.
Yeah, so Atlantic Sun tipped off tonight for a little recap. And Kennesaw State was favored to Jacksonville by 2.5 points, and Jacksonville won 92 to 86. Over under was 148. In my write up, I took the over, so no sweat with it, which was nice. And then we had Queens upset Florida Gulf Coast. They were 4 point underdogs. Queens kind of controlled the game. I leaned Queens and didn't take them, of course. And then I took the over, and that did not hit, 69 to 63. So it was a good start with the Atlantic Sun tournament tipping off, and then tomorrow we got the Horizon League launching, Patriot League, 4 games. and then the Sun Belt Conference as well tips off first round. So, and Atlantic Sun continues. And then I've been making a little bracket. I like just doing it for my own. It's fun to me because I'm a little weirdo. So I'll be tweeting those out too, and with updates as well. I just love it, man. It's those are my adult crafts as well, adult tree houses and adult crafts. So
Oh yeah, these are some fun tournaments. Horizon's gonna be fun, especially. That one kind of looks wide open here, minus the basement dwellers in Detroit and IUPUI and Bob Morris and whatnot. But um, yeah, I'm probably looking forward to that one. Is there any specific tournament that you are looking forward to? I mean, obviously we're all looking forward to the Big East and the Big 12, like the battles that are going to be there. But SoCon should be fun. Horizon's going to be fun. There's some fun conferences out there.
SoCon for sure for me is going to be one of them. I also am excited for CUSA and an AAC as well. I think the AAC tournament's going to be super exciting. Missouri Valley Arch Madness kicks off as well. It's an absolute criminal negligence of the selection committee that Missouri Valley could not be a two-bid league or automatically. Indiana State loses this conference tournament, they might not get in. Indiana State was a top 25 team, then they lose to Illinois State, and Drake could very well win this league. Bradley as well too, and who knows, man? Northern Iowa, some random team just jumps out. So Arch Madness always a good one that I'm usually excited for.
And
I
Drake
like
just swept Bradley yesterday, so they swept the season. So unless they're I'm sure they're going to meet up in this tournament here. But yeah, strong showing from
excuse
Drake.
me. But yeah, Arch Madness, it's fun. And then also, I mean, the Power Fives are great, but I do love like the mid majors tournaments. So, and Atlantic Sun was fun tonight. Both dogs win outright. That's how we see it sometimes in conference tournaments. The favorites don't always win. These kids are playing for their lives, and that's why I love it the most too. You see the raw emotion. And Kennesaw State, man, what a letdown they had in the Atlantic Sun. So, yeah, one of those tournaments I'm excited for. And I'll mention this as the last one is the Big South. High Point, UNC Asheville, some random upset maybe from Winthrop or Gardner Webb. Big South is always a great tournament as well.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun tomorrow, or
Yeah.
not tomorrow. These upcoming weeks here. So,
Yeah.
I guess with that, are there any futures that you're looking at to dabble into these next couple days? I know I grab a few here and there, but I don't play too many conference futures. It's probably something I should probably start doing a little bit more of, especially with these longer shot dogs that have a chance. I mean, Ohio State didn't come through last year, but they had ended the regular season playing pretty well, like they're doing now, and they made a run in that tournament. So I mean, just sitting there with Final Four, and you've got like a 55-1 ticket on somebody. I mean, it adds hedge opportunities that you can maneuver if you want to play it that way.
Yeah, I think you're spot on with that. To me, it's unless you're absolutely confident, like let's say you're confident in like a High Point, right, winning the Big South. You kind of gotta buy that number that's pretty low. You're gonna have like a plus 120, a plus 270, a plus 400, and then it gets high, right? So the best I think is to really go for that snipe of looking for those long odds, right? Of I mean, Jacksonville, for instance, they probably will not win the Atlantic Sun, but they were 50-1, so $10 bet takes you a long way versus having to maybe lay, a full unit on a plus 120, and you got to be confident in it. And sometimes it's better just like to roll the money line on the conference tournaments as well, because that basically acts like long odds, right? And because you got to maybe buy for 3 games versus just one. So, futures, as I've said before, they're fun. I'm not the biggest futures guy, but for this, I like to find maybe just one or two long odds to bet on um, versus that. You can catch some good odds, especially when it gets to only the quarterfinals, because they're still available. But yeah, High Point is probably one of them that I would buy the juice at, but there's some there's odds that I need to look into a little bit more. I think Austin P for this Atlantic Sun tournament was one that I was looking at for a realistic bet too. Um, they're a good team at home. They play the first at home until they'll maybe meet Eastern Kentucky. Eastern Kentucky's been the favorite all year, uh, but defense kind of wins these games. Kids that play, that hustle kind of play. And Austin Pays came back from a few deficits, and that's what you kind of need to do in March as well. So look for the surprises, but it's also maybe fun to put a quarter unit on maybe a plus 400 plus 500, versus the 50 to ones. So, but they do happen.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, I mean, I think the only futures I'm sitting on are kind of fan driven a little bit, but I've got FAU 50 to 1 national title. I grabbed that when they opened after last year, how it ended, and um, and then you had heard that nobody was leaving; they'd all come back. Dusty May returned, so I grabbed the 50 to 1. Um, yeah, after that Arizona game, it was looking pretty like a smart decision. Now it's not sure what the number is. You can probably get a better one on these guys now, or somewhere around the same number, but yeah, and then them Final Four as well. So that's about it.
I don't have
Well, I had a
numbers for the Horizon, but that's one that I don't think Oakland goes dancing. So what a
yeah,
tremendous season for Oakland. One of our favorite teams to bet on earlier in the year with Nick. Um, we loved them, but you look at a team like the Horizon, 18 and 13 as an overall for the number 8 seed at Cleveland State. Half of these teams are 17 and 14, 18 and 13. They've all beaten each other. I don't see Oakland coming out alive, so don't buy that number. But buy Green Bay. Don't love Green Bay, but like IPFW is probably good odds. Youngstown State, right? I'd love to see Youngstown State in the tournament as well. My man Javon, is it crazy to take Drexel at plus 450 to win the CAA tournament? I don't think so. I
they've
don't
been
think
playing
so at
good
all.
lately. They're rolling hot.
Yeah, and they're a 20-win season for Drexel, Jovan. I love to see it. Charleston's one too that has all the momentum, right? And sometimes in these conference tournaments, you see a mid-major conference, and the CAA is one of the better mid-major conferences for sure. Um, you know, come in with all the momentum, and everyone knows who they are as an kind of underrated team. And Charleston has that right now, right? Everyone bet on them, public underdog last year's tournament when they made it. They were a fun team. Not the same team this year. They're really you know they got a lot of holes, and I think UNC Wilmington Drexel is a great choice. Maybe even like sprinkling Towson is if that's even crazy. So I don't see Delaware and Hofstra. It's going to be one of those teams for sure, and I think Drexel's in that equation, Jovan. So with those odds, for sure. What's Charleston? Probably like plus 100 something, plus 200 at most. So yeah, I think Drexel and UNC Wilmington actually a great bet for CAA. Good call, Jovan. And cheers.
Yeah, and Drexel split the series with Wilmington too this year. So you got that. But I mean, Drexel's coming in 5-1 in the last 6, but Wilmington they've kind of scuffled up at the end of the stretch here. They're 2-3 in their last 5. So they've kind of scuffled here, but they did get a big win against Towson, so maybe they're gonna flip that switch back on because I mean we've seen this team go into Kentucky and win. They've shown they have the ability to hang with the top dogs in the country. So um, it's probably not a smart decision to fade them in their own conference, but I mean yeah I could see Wilmington, Drexel, and if you wanted a long shot, Monmouth, just because Xander Rice is liable to go
Love Xander
nuclear
Rice.
for 15 quick points in about 3 minutes. I mean, it's just what he does. He can flip a game on its head. I don't think they're going to win, but I mean, if he just goes unconscious for 3 days straight, they it'd be a nice number to hedge off of even if they made the conference game or the semifinals. So Yeah, that would be a long shot I'd look at. I'm not even sure the numbers. Um, John,
One
if you
thing to
could put in the chat where you're seeing these numbers, because I'm not seeing all of the conference winners
I
on
think they're
DK.
on Draft. I think
Um,
they're on
oh,
DraftKings. I
just kidding.
thought.
Just kidding. I found it.
Yeah,
On
but you
draft,
gotta
you
like
have to go to
swipe
conference
over.
tournament winner, not
But
conference
Javon, to
winner.
your point though, with Drexel too, if this team does what they did in January and December, holding teams to 50 points, 60 high 60s, and their offense is clicking, this is exactly a recipe for a good team in March that can sneak in to be a 13 seed in March Madness. But props to Drexel this season, 20 win season for the Dragons. Always a random team that I like rooted for as a kid just because their logo, and I don't know. I just like that's one of the random teams that I rooted for. So let's go Drexel. I'm pulling for you in the CAA. I might have to lock that in as well, Jovan. Them and maybe UNC Wilmington is the future I take. So yeah, props to the Dragons this season. Hope they get back in like they did a couple years ago after a long drought.
Yeah, they're ending the season hot, so that's what you want to do heading into March. So we'll see how they finish here, but they're looking pretty good right now.
Yep.
Um, I guess unless without further ado, I also know FAU plays tomorrow, but I do not have a number on that. I could look at
Yeah, I don't have a
DraftKings
number
maybe
on that
actually.
either.
It's not listed on my offshore either. Florida Atlantic. Let me click. Oh, so they must not have a lineup of DK either yet.
Wait,
Well,
Florida Atlantic
regard,
plays tomorrow?
I believe so. Am I a
What?
day ahead?
I don't
Monday,
think they play
Tuesday.
tomorrow. USF plays tomorrow. That's the one I don't have a
Oh,
line for.
they play
UCLA.
Wednesday. My bad.
Yep.
North Texas on Wednesday.
Good
That's gonna
games
be
Wednesday too.
man. FAU could get shut down that game.
Dude, I know.
Whew. That we'll talk about that game tomorrow because we'll be going live tomorrow. Me and Huff and Nick's got some stuff going on, so if he's able to make the time, he will. But he'll be joining us as much as he can too. But with conference tournament season, there's a lot of games to cover and shit to go over. So why more brains the merrier. Figuring these games out. Guess we'll hop right into it. First game, um, big one, Bama at Florida. Um, Florida is laying 1.5 over unders a 177. Like they just keep getting bigger and they keep hitting. So I mean, well, they didn't. That Bama and Tennessee didn't hit. Tennessee kind of got the style of game they wanted in that one. Slowed them down, working a run and gun with them. So props to them on that. But this game is going to be fun. I'm also very pissed at Florida for what they did last game. That was criminal how they blew that game. But regardless, this is a revenge game. 93-98 at Bama about 2 weeks ago, February 21st. Over 173 cashed with ease. It's opened 4 points higher, so they're already expecting points here too. So um, we can see how that goes. I mean, Missouri got 74 on Florida at home. LSU put up 80. Georgia 98 at home. So I mean, Florida can give up points at home too, just like this. So I mean, I don't hate that overlook, especially with um, the end of the season and every game meaning so much. We could just get some late game fouling for um, you know 45 seconds versus the final 25 seconds. So you're going to get extra possessions and shots here. So I would lean Florida again. I know they just burnt me. A lot of people on Saturday with that game. That was a horrible collapse, but I think they get up for this game. It's obviously the last one. It's Bama at home, but they know they just blew that last game. They had South Carolina. They should have had that road win to bolster that um, uh, record up. But this is another big game which they can definitely benefit from. So I'm going to take Florida with the points here. I'm not betting this game, but I would take Florida with this one personally.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's tough, right? Like the lean of Alabama off the bounce back of losing at home. But blame your freaking administration and security that's setting up for a freaking predetermined court storm. Unbelievable. That's the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my entire life in college basketball, outside of Jay Billis's
Well, them and
takes and a few others. I mean,
Mississippi
that's just
State.
terrible. Yep,
Mississippi State blew the
that's
game doing that
0-2.
too.
That's a fun bet to maybe take if you see a little pregame of them
Just bet the other team
out
money
there.
line.
Storm Chasers of Barstool there too, as well at NC State, jinxed it. So, I mean, I don't know what they're doing. It's March 4th. You had all freaking season to go chase storms. So, a little late to the party there. But yeah, Florida's not storming here. This is a game that they can easily win, and they're favored. And I think I'd have to back Florida. It's an over/under that I would never want to take an under, but seeing the total that high, I also don't want to take the number. But it'll probably end up 95 to 91, just like it ended 98 to 93 last time. So yeah, I'll lean Florida. I'll check the line movement. I'm not going to bet it right now, but I bet it goes up to maybe 2.5, 3.5 if in favor of Florida, depending on how the bet swings. So maybe might have to take that number now. So I'll lean Florida with you. 100%
I mean, if you're going to
of
do
the
that,
way,
you might as well
and the
grab the
over.
money line. Yeah,
because it's minus 120 right now.
Yeah, so I mean, with how close these games can get, just playing it safe. I mean, you'd be kicking yourself if it's a late game and then Bama just hits a pointless 3-pointer. 87, 86 final or some shit. So, yeah, it could be
kind of
brutal,
both bounce back spots too. Florida's obviously not the better team though. Alabama is the better team. So you're kind of playing with conditions there. So, but yeah, I lean Florida right now. But I shouldn't be afraid of the over. Alabama's scoring 100 points every game. Tell me Florida can't score 77 if Alabama scores 100. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, let me know if there's another game you want to talk about that I'm going to miss, but we're going to keep it right in the, I believe it's the 6 o'clock window yet. Liberty at Middle Tennessee State. Middle Tennessee State is laying 5.5 on the road at Middle Tennessee, who really only gets up for home games. I shouldn't say get up, but play their best at home, I should say. Liberty on the road is not the best team. They are 2-7 on the road, so you've got a 2-7 road team against a 10-6 home team laying 5.5 points. And Liberty already won this year by 35 points as 11.5 point favorites. So they hit the road. They're laying 5.5 yet, and that 5.5 is just a kind of a stinky number. If you look at Middle Tennessee State, they've won their last 5 home games at home. They've covered every one also. They don't cover the road. They show up at home. So I'm going to take the home team who shows up. Conference in this conference, I'm going to say, and I believe Liberty is barely. No, they're out of their conference. So I mean, they could tie up Western Kentucky, but I don't see that happening. And I think Liberty goes on the road here and they lose outright. I think Middle Tennessee gets up. This is their last home game, so they're going to want to go out with a bang. So I'm probably going to bet this game. Stay tuned to my Twitter. I do like this 5.5 we're getting with them, and the money line plus 190. So I don't hate that. I think Liberty. Who do they have next? Let me take a peek here.
Liberty doesn't go.
Kentucky.
They don't go into Murfreesboro.
No, you don't go into Murfreesboro and get a dub.
You don't go to Murfreesboro and go and get a dub. Middle Tennessee State's kind of not the same as they've been in the past, but
yeah, they're 10-6 at home.
Either is Liberty. Liberty's had a rude awakening since transferring over to the CUSA in basketball after dominating the Atlantic Sun. The Atlantic Sun is breathing with ease right now, especially the Eastern Kentucky. So yeah, I'll be honest, I didn't do any thought into this game, so I
We're
just would
breaking this
have
down
to
as we
lean you.
go.
I did a
We're
couple research of a few games beforehand and wanted to have some takes prepared, but yeah, most of my it's gonna be off the cuff tonight.
I mean,
Um,
if you look at this, Louisiana
are
Tech
they
came in
live?
and 100%. Louisiana Tech came in best team in the conference, and it was a 8-point win, 52-60. So Middle Tennessee's defense kept them down. They held them. Um, they were right there for a cover. It was their lane 6.5, so La Tech covered, but 8-point game, far better offense. Middle Tennessee's defense held them down, and ever since that game, they have covered and won every home game. That makes it. Sorry, they lost to Sam Houston the next to follow that up. So they're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They are 5-0 against the spread since dropping their first two home games of conference play. So straight up and against the spread, they have covered every game. So I'm going to take them versus a Liberty team who does not show up on the road really, and they have Western Kentucky on deck. So they're kind of looking ahead to that one where they can tie and uh, tie Western Kentucky, and I believe they haven't played each other yet. Yeah, they went to Western Kentucky and lost by 2. So now they're focused on that game. That's the big one. They can tie them up. I think Middle Tennessee comes on and catches them tomorrow. Big game.
I love it. I love it. I think you hit it on the nail, and maybe I'll add it to my slip. But yeah, I'll lean Murfreesboro. Always a good stop on the way to Florida, where I live, food wise.
There you go. Full transparency. I am the coldest gambler on the planet, so I'd probably advise taking Liberty then, just because you don't want to be on the same side as me right now.
That freaking
But
guy with the headband and the hair, just like, get out of here, freaking Liberty.
yeah, but yeah, I
Short
kind
guy.
of just looking over this whole board tomorrow. This was my favorite play. So maybe I'll just have to bet it out of um, principle. So we'll see.
I love it.
Next game. I know you had something on this. I believe Ole Miss at Georgia. Georgia's laying 2. Over under is 149. Or am I getting the games mixed up that you were betting?
No, not at all actually. So quite frankly, I kind of think Ole Miss gets this done randomly off an upset. I know it's like kind of a I don't like taking a short dog and saying the dog is right, but hey, plus money's plus money. Um, Ole Miss though, are they out of the tournament? Would you say, Trevor? I'd say they're probably out of the
Let me
tournament.
look up
No quad one
first
wins really.
4
I
out.
mean, they beat Detroit. They haven't really beat anyone.
They beat Detroit by 1.
I know.
Ole Miss's next 4 out on according to ESPN on March 1st. So
One thing that's
Lenardi has them first 4 out.
One thing that scares me is Georgia's lost 3 in a row after beating Vanderbilt on the road. But they lost 6 games before that. So
And they have
or
Auburn on
six
deck.
six games in a row, that is. They got Auburn on deck. Ole Miss just coming off the win in Missouri after losing. And you're exactly right, Mac. Yep, he does. It's unbelievable. Um, but no, I think Ole Miss ends up walking away here. Georgia maybe in this the first half, but I've seen this betting Georgia too many times. I don't want to put my money on them. Is that Georgia flails? They'll be up 8 points in the first half. They'll be up, heck, even 10 plus in the second half and blow a lead. So I never would be comfortable taking a Georgia ticket. I feel like Ole Miss is the better team. They want to win this game, 21 wins after this, and then they got Texas A&M. They could win out and do some damage in the SEC tournament. But they haven't impressed me as much either. Think think it's a game of who's playing more desperate, and that's going to be Ole Miss.
Yeah, I'm going over Georgia's schedule. Their last, I think, we'll go over the conference games at home. Starting from the beginning of the season. You got Arkansas. They beat them by 10. Tennessee came in 6-point loss, so they're playing tough. Went to South Carolina, got a dub. But at home, LSU they won by 2. Since Alabama lost by 9. South Carolina lost by 10. Florida lost by 6 or 8. Auburn lost by 21. Texas A&M lost by 14. They're getting blown out at home as of late. Um, I'm not sure if I trust them. I'm with you. I think Ole Miss probably gets this done. Chris Beard is gonna have these guys knowing that they need this game. They can't lose any more games this year. Um, so Ole Miss has got to get this done, and they've got a Texas A&M team on deck at home. So their last two games, all they have to do is go beat a struggling Georgia team who's got one win in their last 9, and have gotten blown out in their last 3 or 4 home games as well. So I'm with you. I'm going to write this down. I'm not going to bet this game yet, but I'm going to put Ole Miss on there. And I think if you're going to play it, you're just going to play the money line because they're going to be playing desperate and they need this game. So if they are down, 1 point late or 4 points late, and there's like 3 seconds left, they're gonna foul regardless, just because they're going to touch the ball one more time. So take Ole Miss on the money line if you do. Otherwise, Georgia, just lay the points. But do not trust 18. Old me old me as of like a week ago, and I'm still getting my ass whipped. This spot is kind of we're past the smelly line spots. Um, Georgia laying 2 is just it's just wrong. I think Ole Miss is going to win the game. We're past the point of this line reeks take this other spot. I think
Yeah,
well
it's
obviously
March
we know what
1st
teams
or
are now. We know what
yeah, it's
teams are.
yeah, and I know what teams are of Georgia. And do teams like this quit? I don't know. There's always some random upset late. Um, but yeah, I'm just gonna go for the better team. Um, we'll see. Yeah, go Rebels. That's the one that I've taken so far. The rest are going to be leans, but I always end up taking a little bit more. But I'm really been focused on the conference tournament games as well. Some of these lines aren't out yet, or at least for me, or the ones that I look at. So a couple are trickling in for conference tournaments, so we can focus on that later. But Trev, you got any more for the bigger games? We got an absolute pisser in the Big Ten tonight, tomorrow.
Yeah, there's some decent games. I mean, I kind of grabbed them all. There's a bunch of mid major tourney games and shit that we can go over if there's games you want to talk about too. Um, Notre Dame, UNC, not really much on here. I don't trust UNC. Laying 15.5 at home. They just had a Miami team who came in down 2 guys. I believe it was Wooga and Pack were out. They could never extend that game. They got to a point about 6 minutes left. You're like, all right, started to feel good with your minus 12 ticket, and then Miami 9-0 run. They just hit shots. So I don't trust UNC's defense at home, especially they've got Duke on the road next. So this is just going to be a game. They're going to win by 8 or 9 points. Duke's on deck. That's the big one. That's what matters. This is just measly as Notre Dame, but Notre Dame's been feisty on the road this year.
Shout out Micah Shrewsbury, man. Got the
Yeah, he's got them playing good. Ever since he said, if you don't want to play hard in this and that, I'll fucking help you get your transfer papers and we'll get you going.
If you don't want
Ever
to play
since
that
then, they've
way,
played a lot.
don't
Yeah,
play
they
that
played a
way.
lot better.
Exactly. Um,
They're 6-4
lo-
against the spread. Their last
losing to
10.
Citadel, losing to Western Carolina, not a bad loss. Almost losing to Niagara. You know, beating Marist by 4. I mean, come on. Then they beat Virginia. I mean, they've had some decent random wins and covers. So, and they won 3 in a row in February. And then they just beat Clemson. It is a letdown
Yeah,
spot
let down.
for those blind spots. This is a game I'm definitely not betting, but I'd lean Notre Dame with the points. Maybe they have a backdoor cover. Um, if they're out of it though in the first half, they're done. This is the one they need to stay in within 6 or 8 points in the first half at the most, or they'll quit. But if they're getting smacked in the mouth, I don't see a backdoor cover. But yeah, North Carolina has a look ahead spot after Notre Dame has a letdown spot. This is Micah
Understand why.
Shrewsbury's first year, 14 and 15 right now. He's going to be sitting if he can get to 500 or above 500 even, and an upset over Clemson, an upset over Virginia, is that an upset anymore after seeing that team? But North Carolina, if they can squeak one out of there, have something to write the season about. Turning around adversity, turning around and after facing an adversity, I should say. Shout out Notre Dame. I hate giving them props, but I do like Mike Shrewsbury. He's a good coach.
Yeah, they've been feisty. They're 5-1 against the spread and straight up in their last five. So, granted, 4 of those games were at home, but they went on the road. They beat Louisville by 22. So, I mean, they dispatched them, and then 3-point loss to Syracuse on the road, 85-88. So, it's a tough loss, but they still covered the spread. They were contending the entire game. So yeah, and they even gave Duke. Granted, it was a home game, but they gave Duke hell. They had Duke on the ropes until about the last 2-3 minutes, and then kind of pulled away to an 8 or 9 point win. But they've been feisty this year. So yeah, UNC the biggest game of the year. Measly has Notre Dame coming in. I would imagine it probably Notre Dame or UNC probably shows up. No, it's senior day. They got a lot of was that RJ Davis, Baycott.
That's another spot where I just don't want to bet it, but happy for UNC. It's like, yeah, they got seniors, Armando Baycott, RJ Davis. I mean, but hey, Coach K loses on senior night too. Last game
Yeah,
ever.
he does.
Things happen.
Uh,
So
It's just I was hearing someone talk about this. It's a different spot because you're going through a different warm up routine. It's not what you're normally used to, which totally makes sense because you're coming out, you're doing the whole stadium is watching you, everyone's cheering for you. You got your family there, you got your jersey, everything with the coach. It kind of throws you off mentally. So so it's just another little spot here. I think Notre Dame covers, but I'm not going to put my money on Notre Dame, but 15.5 seems like a lot of points for a senior day plus a team that's got
I
their
hope
biggest
RJ
rival.
Davis. I hate rooting for North Carolina, but I hope RJ Davis wins Naismith Player of the Year. It's his time. Zach Edey's great and all, but a lot of points come. I mean, he did it last year.
Edie's not losing it.
You're probably right.
There's no way he's going to lose it.
You're probably right.
Yeah. He honestly, if you took him away from Purdue, what are they? I mean,
they'll have
their
another
whole
7.
offense is based off.
They'll have
their
another 7'4" guy coming in there.
They have a guy on the bench already, some redheaded dude.
Yeah, and they got another recruit, I think, too. So
I'm surprised they didn't get Cooper Flag. I mean, shit, Purdue's just big man U.
Do you have a line on USF Tulane? Sorry for the random breakaway.
No, you're good. Tulane and South Florida. South Florida is laying 7.5 over under 156.
I'm not fading South Florida, as you guys saw on the delay. I was dealing with flight delays and stuff. I was gonna bet USF. I was gonna come on and be that guy. I didn't know you guys were on Charlotte until it happened, and then I kind of liked the idea of Charlotte, right? South Florida, top 25 team. They're high and mighty. They won't lose this game to Tulane. I think I would happily lay it. I'm not betting it yet. So Tulane's terrible, man. They've really let me down. But a good coach, Ron Hunter, good coach. But they've really had some huge letdowns. And how many have they lost in a row? 6, 7? Not like 10 of their last 11.
Yeah, they've lost 9 of their last 10. Yeah, they have not won back-to-back games since they beat Dillard, followed by Rice. They did. This is a team that beat Furman in double overtime, 117-110. I remember that game.
That was a great game. Good call. Dillard,
Tulane
man.
was looking really good. Tulane was looking really good to start the season. They started 3-6-1, 6-2, 8-2, 3-10. They started 10-3, and since they are 3-6, 3-12. So conference play hit, and they've gotten bucked up.
They're like Kennesaw State. It's funny, and for how fast they run too, very similar.
They have not played South Florida yet this year, though.
That's true. Maybe they end up covering, only losing by like 6. But I think I love this South Florida team. Really happy for them this year. What a random little spurt of energy they've had, and they win. They end up finding a way to win games. This is a time I don't want to fade those teams.
Yeah. What has Tulane been catching? 17 points, 2 they losing, caught 9 they lost. They covered an 8-point spread. Doesn't it feel like it's asking a lot for USF to just now win by 8 points after they've been dogs in almost all of these games?
It's true.
They've
It's not.
had in the last 10, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I guess they've been favorites in 5 of them, covering 1, 2, 3, 1, and 1. Favorites. Didn't cover 6, covered 8.5, 2, 9.5, and pushed on a 4.
I'm not taking Tulane, but I
No,
got
I
I
don't.
got I got South Florida in my notebook, but haven't taken it yet. But I think they find a way. I love that
I
team.
mean, look at Tulane here, though. On the road, yes, they're not good, but at FAU, 6-point loss. At
Yep.
ECU, 14-point. Memphis, 12-point, 78-90. 76-80 at SMU, 88-89 at UTSA, blown out by UAB, won in overtime at Tulsa. North Texas got them by 14. I mean, on the road, they're kind of keeping games close, but you know they're kept at arm's length at about 10 points, 6 points. I mean, at home, 4-point loss to North Texas, 9. They kind of keep games close. I feel like it's a plug your nose special with Tulane, um, but I can't fade USF. I'm with you. I don't want to bet this game at all, but kind of just something tells me Tulane's gonna find a way to cover this game by 7 or 6, or lose by 7 or 6 points.
Yeah. What do we got next?
Game I'm excited for, that I'm really
Let's
looking
hear
at
it.
betting.
Hold on a second.
Providence at Georgetown. Georgetown is catching 7 points, or 7.5, depending on where you're looking. Over unders 149.5. This is Providence team that's run by one guy and one guy only, and that's Devin Carter. I mean, granted, you got Oduro down low and whatnot, but Providence just kind of started to run out of gas. Lost, good big losses, but I mean, lost by 22 to Marquette. He lost by 11 to Villanova at home. Now you're going to hit the road before UConn at home. Ed Cooley game. I think this is a game that probably people show up to at Georgetown. I think this is a game where Ed Cooley can assert his revenge on Providence and kind of fuck up their season, because I know they are what are they? They are a last 4 in team, and that was before. This was the 3rd. So let me yeah, they followed that up by a loss to Villanova. So they probably went from last 4 in to first 4 out, um, or the next 4 out. So they've definitely fallen out to outside the bubble. So this is a game that Providence needs desperately. Ed Cooley knows what you got to do. You got to stop Devin Carter and then make someone else beat you, because that's all Providence really has. If you go down through Providence, Devin Carter, percent of shots when he's on the floor, he's shooting 28% of the shots. Yeah, I mean he can shoot the ball. He's awesome, but if you stop him, you've essentially just slowed down this entire team. So Georgetown, I think, is a little alive here. Ed Cooley gets his guys up last home game, fuck over his old school.
And round robin, just $10. Whatever whatever your 0.1 unit is, 0.2 of Missouri, Georgetown, and then a couple, maybe 1 or 2 more.
Middle Tennessee.
Listen, we don't need to talk about this game. Auburn Lane 12.5 versus Missouri, but I don't know.
Yeah, a little
Something
angle.
to think about. Sorry, I didn't mean to hop away, but yeah,
No,
I think I kind of want to back Ed Cooley, but I just don't want to put my money. One team I don't want to put my money on is Georgetown. But I think it
It's
might
a
be too many
spot game.
points.
It's a
Too many
spot game where
points.
he can get his revenge, and he's at home. I mean, like Georgetown has been fairly competitive. I mean, they've lost these games, but 5 point loss to Xavier, blown
They
up
were
by
in that
Villanova.
Providence game too, so
St. John's was a 5 point loss. Villanova blew them out. Creighton blew them out. Connecticut blew them out. Seton Hall 6 point loss. Marquette blew them out. Marquette and UConn, they do these to these teams. It was an 8 point road loss to Providence. The game was tight the whole way, and towards the end, Providence like went on like a fuck. What was that? I can look right here. It was tight. Damn it. It was tight. It was very tight late, and then Providence kind of pulled away. So I mean, I think this is probably a spot that Georgetown is legitimately live. It kind of feels like dogs are barking tomorrow, especially home dogs.
God, yeah, and that's why I don't want to just say, "Hey, I'm going to put a whole unit on Missouri money line," but I just like the idea of maybe a round robin or a parlay,
Oh, the
something like
round
that.
robin, yeah. Take 3, 4, maybe 5 teams, but it's more of a 3 team
Missouri's
thing.
got
I
to
mean,
win one SEC game, right?
and this, yeah. But just to finish off this Georgetown game, it was a 1 point game with 2 minutes left
I know. I watched that game. It was great. It was high
in
intensity.
Providence.
Georgetown stayed in it at the dunk, and then they let it get away from them. But and they were up at sometimes too, and clawed back after
Yep.
maybe blowing a 8-10 point lead. So yeah, notebook that shit. Um, Definitely not going to put
Yeah.
a full unit on it, but I maybe get a little weird here and see if the dogs are barking in March, at least for their last attempt, right?
Missouri, Georgetown, and like Middle Tennessee, or what was the other one you had? The other dog.
I can't
Shit.
remember.
Well,
Shit.
whatever. Yeah, no. We have
I
time.
had to move. I
Yeah.
had to move to my charger station, and then I wasn't near my desk. That's what I had to. So now I'll go grab my notebook in a second. But
We have upset alert. 6 minutes left. Sacramento State 80, Eastern Washington 77.
Sacramento State's playing good basketball the last two games.
Yeah.
They're
Eastern Washington's kind of looked a little shaky the last couple weeks here.
Big Sky will get a little crazy. Some
Yeah.
random team just sneaks in as a 15 seed or something. So
Yep.
or a
Anyway, this
14.
Auburn Missouri game,
Yep.
the
Not
sleepy
much
spot
on
of
it.
it.
Not much on it for me. I'm not going to say anything about Missouri or why they can beat Auburn, but they got to win one SEC game. They have not won. If I'm wrong, I've been drinking too much in Florida. They got to win one, and then maybe it's at home. So there's my
I mean,
weird
this is talking about a sleepy
non-basketball
spot.
statistician angle. There's nothing behind it other than just like my Bowling Green hangover. This is my they gotta win one, and I'm probably gonna get
Yeah,
laughed out of the gym. Screen record this, whoever's listening,
those
and
are the
just
ones
laugh
that
me
those
out
are
the
the ones
gym.
that hit. Everybody has given up. Missouri has been fake sharp the last 2 3 games. They're 6-10 at home, so I mean they've won home games. Missouri,
What a letdown, man!
1 point dog, lost by 6 at home to Ole Miss. Covered the 13 against Florida. The Arkansas game, which I thought that was the game they were going to win, they were 5.5 point dogs. They lost. They're covering double digit spreads. The single digits they're not covering for shit. But I don't care. This line should be bigger than 12.5.
They were a seven. Were they a 7 or 10 seed last year? I mean, it's embarrassing. I know they
Yeah,
lost a couple, but and then the transfer portal. I thought they had some good additions, but
yeah.
no,
I mean,
they gotta win one. But that's
and
my angle. There's Auburn will probably kick their ass by 30, but if Missouri's in it, I'll feel a little good. I will. I'd rather just sprinkle the money line than plus 12.5. But maybe they stay in it. Auburn's a really good team. I love Bruce Pearl, one of my favorite
Auburn on
coaches.
the road though has been suspect a little bit. I mean, lost to.
This
I
is
mean, granted,
Missouri though.
Illinois. I know, granted, lost to Illinois, beat Georgia, but Lost to
This is me just
Florida,
saying, you know what?
lost to Mississippi State, lost to
It's been
Bama.
heads 15 times in a row. It has to be tails next. This is like playing
Yeah,
roulette. It's black. It's black. It's got red. It's got to be red, you know? So one of
yeah,
those type of things. But
yeah.
we can
Feel
move
you, feel
on
you.
because that game kind of sucks too.
Well, that lead. Oh, oh, wrong one,
Nope.
wrong one. Purdue at Illinois. Illinois is 1.5 point favorites.
Illinois favorited. Purdue is an underdog.
Take us away on this one.
Illinois, man, they're a really good team. Uh, Domask, man, he is solid. I personally think you have a chance to take Purdue on the money line, and you can't go wrong with either of this game. You really can't, and um, not gonna be shocked if you take the opposite side of me here, just because you're getting two really good teams and one at home too. And Illinois at home has been solid. Guard play got to step up for Purdue against Terrence Shannon. And who the hell is going to guard Zach Edey is the other question. So does Zach Edey get the calls that he normally gets in Mackey Arena versus he does in Champaign? It's still been favored in the Big Ten. So I'm gonna risk my business and take a dog here again with Purdue. Barely squeaking it out. I may get laughed at, Jim. This is one that Purdue loses before, um, because I really like this Illinois team too. And if I'm corrected, was Illinois a dog plus 1.5? I could get swayed and the line moved to -1. You're on mute.
Good catch. Let me look at VSiN quick.
I
They
think
always have.
so.
They're showing 2. Um,
But I
it's
think
not showing
Illinois
me what the
was.
spread opened, but the money line opened 110 each way,
I think it was plus
and
one and a
and
half.
Illinois is
So
getting pounded. 85% of
Illinois
money, 66%
playmakers,
of
but
bets.
so is Braden Smith. Braden Smith is a playmaker as well, and Lance Jones. I'm gonna take Purdue, and it's probably the most square bet that I could have.
Illinois is getting pounded right now.
Oh, they are.
Yeah, 85% of money, 66% of bets.
Well,
I
let's
mean,
just
that
take
doesn't
Purdue.
mean shit, but
Yeah, I think it does. I mean, there's some truths to it, but sometimes they're all different and whatnot. Um, but my thought is, Purdue's they're 1-5 in the last ATS. It's kind of crazy, but have they ever been an underdog before this season, other than maybe a non-conference game early on?
I can check that
I
out.
don't think so. Yeah, if Illinois did open up at plus 1.5.
It did. It moved that far already, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Damn. Purdue has been a dog twice this year. They're 2-0.
Make it 3. I'll lock up the Boilers. Somehow getting it done. It's going to be sweaty. But they're not as good on the road. This has it all, but there's a lot of implications on this. This is Big Ten championship basketball.
Illinois can get a share,
Yeah, this is for the
so
Big
there's a
Ten
lot on
regular season. So a lot of implications. I don't know your thoughts. Do you lean Illinois at home? I know it's the home team. My thought is that Purdue's been here before. They know that they want to win the Big Ten and want to win it outright too as well, um, and that they're underdogs. So
Well, see, I backed Purdue both times they were dogs this year, and they were it was the way to go. Um, this one scares me. They just celebrated the last game like they had just won the Big Ten title. They were on the court, they had the hats, they were cutting the nets, all that shit. And it's
it's
just
true.
they've clinched a share. They haven't gotten it yet. They clinched a share, and the fact that they opened up as favorites and it's already flipped this far around, it kind of feels telling. I think I mean, who you're gonna have Coleman Hawkins kind of doing his thing. Does Danger really play much? I've kind of stopped. I'm not up to date on my Illinois basketball. I was 100% the last couple weeks, but I mean, Edie's gonna get his. It's just regardless. It's just a matter of like, are the shots gonna fall? The defense, like, what are we trying to do here? But if you look at both these teams, Purdue 7-3 to the over the last 10, Illinois 9-1 to the over. And that under that hit was 10 games ago against IU where they won by 18. It was just a blowout from the jump. Um, these last games they've given up. The last 10 here, 62 to IU, 75 to Ohio State. This is before Ohio State fired Holtman. 75, 84 to Nebraska, on the road Nebraska. At Michigan State, 88. Michigan 68, congrats, you shut them down. At Maryland, 80 points. They give up 80 to Maryland, 89 to Penn State, 85 to Iowa, 97 to Minnesota, and 83 to Wisconsin. There's so many possessions. They don't play
Yep.
much defense. It kind of feels like you're going to take a Purdue team total over. Let me look at Zach Edey here. Let's go back to the game earlier against Illinois. Illinois, he shot 3 free throws. He had 3 free throws. Really? He must have been in foul trouble. Yeah, 3. Yeah, he shot 3 free throws against Illinois. That's pretty crazy. 15 rebounds. So I mean, they shut him down. Then you can say he went field goals. He went 5 for 5 from the floor. 23 minutes. So fouls, personal fouls, 4. He had 4 fouls. They put him in foul trouble. So that would do it. Now you're going to get and they came back in the game. Actually, I remember this game. That was the game they were up like 18 in the first half, and then allowed Illinois to come all the way back due to Edey being in foul trouble.
They were up like 20-2 or something like
That's
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm with you. I think this is a Purdue in an over game. I think you're going to get Zach Edey this time. You're going to actually have to play him. He got 15 boards with 4 fouls. He wasn't getting anything offensively. So you can, granted they play great defense, but this team revolves around Zach Edey. They're going to dump it down into him, and if he's scoring, he's going to be balling. Otherwise, he's going to kick it out. Lance Jones, Braden, Fletcher just had a really good game the other day, so we'll see how he follows that up. But I'm with you. I think this is actually, everyone's expecting Illinois to show up at home. You just got to win by 1. Revenge game for a share of the Big Ten. I'm scared that Purdue was celebrating like they'd won it, but kind of feels like a good spot. I mean, they essentially rendered Edey useless last game, and they still lost that game. Brandon was on the road, but you put Edey in 4 fouls, like nobody does that. So the odds of that repeating itself, I feel like are very.
He didn't get many. I don't think he got as many calls last game. I think he gets calls this game. So yeah, like you mentioned, just it's gonna be a guard play. I think you can go either way, right? With the home team, Illinois is a proven team. But they always do this. Illinois is convincing in late stages of the regular season. And then they
Purdue's
get to
team
March.
total is 80.5. They've scored 80, 84, 96, a loss, 69, 84, 79, 75, 105, 99, 68. They can put up points. And like we said earlier, this is a desperate free throw fouling spot game 2.
Yep. No, I like it.
Yeah. So, I mean, what do you like more? Are you like an over, team total over, Purdue? What would be Purdue. If you had to just Purdue?
I like Purdue.
Yeah, don't get cute.
This is gonna be a great live spot, I think, for the over under. But I would hate to have the under in this game too. First half it might hit or be scary, and then it just comes along, man. These like you said, they have tons of possessions. It just hopefully the points match it, and Illinois has been proven that they can do that on offense. So we'll see if the defense steps up a little bit. But Yeah, I like the over, but I'd rather just as my favorite bet there take Purdue and hope for the best.
Yeah, I suppose don't get cute. If you look at Illinois here, 14.3 opponent free throws attempted at home versus 22 on the road. So obviously they get the home whistle, but that's significant. I mean,
It's good
that
for the
puts them
over
in the
too,
top. Yeah,
and maybe since they didn't get fouls last time, it's good for the over for on the other side of things with Purdue as well.
yeah. Um, I'm gonna regret this. I'm gonna write this down, but Purdue over 80.5. I
I
think
like it.
regardless, you don't have to sweat out this late game because this is gonna be a tight game. This is gonna be Purdue. Maybe even a Purdue first half. Let me look at their first half margin. I know they're a dominant first half team, and then they kind of just don't show up. Yeah, look at this. They are sixth in the country on the road, plus 5.8 road margin. So they're sixth best road team in the country, and they are fourth best home. So they're an elite first half team. This is a team that shows up immediately. If we look at Illinois here, Illinois plus 7.7 at home. Last three plus two though. Purdue plus 11 in their last three. So they're still showing up first half. So I mean, God damn it, I hate getting cute, but maybe a Purdue first half, especially senior night again for Illinois. They can maybe come out a little slow here, a little dull, and allow Purdue and Edie to gain a lead, and then Illinois claws back, and then we got ourselves a tight game. So yeah, I guess we kind of broke this down. We got a bunch of angles here. They all roads lead to Purdue though at the end of this thing for us. So Purdue
All
in
roads lead
points.
to West Lafayette.
Or
What do we got
all
next?
rockets come from Lafayette. Yeah,
Oh God, jeez.
that I'll workshop that one. That was bad. It sounded better in my head.
No, no, I like it though. We we're making things on the fly, but yeah,
Yeah,
whatever.
we're capping these
I, s-
games right now. So
I see
yeah.
that I see that Purdue flag and stuff in there, so maybe it's a good sign. Ugh.
Oh shit, where is it?
Why would
Yeah,
you decorate your basement like that? No, I'm just kidding. That's cool.
because
You got the great view.
because
It's
yeah.
unbelievable. It's unbelievable. You got the bar there too. I love it. It's a great
Yeah,
spot.
and Texas has blown this 16-point lead. We got a 2-point game.
We don't have to talk too much about this game.
Yeah, I didn't really have much of an angle other than you're giving Judah Mintz 9 points. Sorry, Clemson is
Clemson's
not
done,
catching nine.
right?
Clemson is not catching 9 points. Sorry, they are laying 9 points.
This Clemson
Um,
Tiger team it's just ugh. Remember, it's every year, man. Poor PJ Hall. He's like the guy that just can't get a
yeah,
promotion and just works his ass off every time, and then just can't do it. But then that's what happens. You don't play defense. Not PJ Hall
Clemson's
specifically,
five
but
and three
Clemson in
quad
general.
one, 5-2 quad two, 5-3 in quad four, and 5-0 in quad or 5-4 in quad three, 5-0 in quad three. So they are 10-4 quad threes and fours, and 10-5 in quad one and twos. So I'm guessing, and their coaches poll 34-27 RPI. I feel like they're probably going to make this tournament unless they. Um, I think they got 2 games left. If they drop those two, especially, well, Syracuse is fairly respectable, especially as of late. They've been playing decent ball. Wake Forest on deck. So that game could, if Clemson loses to Syracuse, that Wake Forest game could mean a whole lot more for both teams,
Yep,
and it'll be at Wake Forest.
yep. Um, uh, no, I think that's great, and I'm not bet. This is on my notebook, but Clemson maybe on a bounce back, but I don't feel comfortable laying 9 points with Clemson, so this is just one I don't really want to bet. Maybe take a team total over for Clemson. Maybe take an over or two over teams for sure. But yeah, it's a senior night for Clemson. PJ Hall is finally a senior.
Yeah.
Yeah,
PJ
so
Hall
maybe
points.
maybe lean Clemson, but I'm not taking that shit. So
Let me see what PJ Hall. PJ Hall, 15 points, 3 assists, 10 boards against Syracuse last game on the road. So at home, senior night. Uh, we saw DJ Burns show up tonight big for them. So maybe PJ Hall does. If you want to play a prop in this game, otherwise Judah Mintz. Can never go wrong with Judah Mintz. That guy is dude's fucking everything for Syracuse. Last game against them, 14 points, 5 assists, 2 boards, in 40 minutes. 2 turnovers, 40 minutes, point guard, 2 turnovers. Easily to not turning the ball over. Judah Mintz is awesome. So yeah, I mean, in Syracuse, 82, 84, 88, 87, lost. They scored 60, 86 against UNC. 68 was their lull game against Clemson. 94. Like, this Syracuse offense can put up points. And the total between these two last time was 153. It's exactly what it was right now. 153.5. It went under by 7 points. So it's reopened at the same number, and it went under by 3-4 possessions. So kind of a little suspect. I think it might go over. Yeah, Judah Mintz is him, and I could see some points scored in this one.
yeah, 100%. This is one that I wrote down, but team total and Clemson, but I don't know about it. There's some other games on. What do we got next? Unless you don't got anything else. Oh baby.
No. Oh
What do
wait,
you got?
that was Saturday. This one I've noticed has already moved a point and a half. Let's play a little game. Which way did this line move?
I think towards Oklahoma, right?
You betcha. It's 6 now. Over under still 138. It is 6. I made these banners maybe an hour ago, maybe, and excuse me, and it's moved a point and a half. So
at that point, I'm gonna take Oklahoma in a money line parlay with something else. That's just my one of my favorite 2-team money lines. So don't love that movement, but I'd lean Oklahoma there, and
South Florida get cute.
They've been disappointing. That's not a bad call. I'll cook some things up, but yeah, that's gonna be my
Virginia
play there.
Tech's only an 8 is Virginia Tech's laying 8 on the road to Louisville. They're not going to lose that game, right?
Fuck Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech just had a huge win.
I'm not betting them.
Fuck
Does Louisville get added to the money line
but
round robin parlay that we talked about earlier?
You know,
he goes in.
Who did Virginia Tech play last? I know they had a big win on Wake. They beat Wake by 11 at home.
Yep.
They haven't won a road game. Oh my God! When is the last time Virginia Tech won a road game? At Syracuse, lost by 13, lost by 5 at Pitt, lost by 15 at UNC, lost by 8 at Notre Dame, lost by 12 at Miami, 8 at Miami. They won by 6 at NC State, lost by 8 at UVA, lost by 3 at Florida State, lost by 23 at Wake Forest. They only beat Louisville by 7 points at home earlier this season. And now they're laying 8 on the road. God, Louisville wins this game, don't they? Oh, my God. They're so going to win this game.
I'm going to include it in there. Fuck it.
Holy shit, this is nasty. They're winning this game. Holy fuck. I'm going to look like an idiot when they get pieced up by 25, but man, you only beat them by 7 at home. Now you're laying 8 on the road, and you haven't won a road game since fucking January 20th. You won by 6. Otherwise, before that, they lost at Auburn. Neutrals don't count. They have won 1 road game all year. 1-9 on the road. Now you're laying 8 points.
It's bad.
that line reeks. Because who the hell is going to bet Louisville anyway? Like nobody's going to want to.
Psychos like
Yeah,
us.
yeah, probably. Yeah,
I'll include him in my money line parlay. I won't bet him full unit, but I'll include him in my money line parlay. Screw it. Kenny Payne.
but
Kenny Payne.
they've got the right tights this time.
It's crazy. What else is next? I think we hit Oklahoma. Definitely put that in the money line parlay. We got a couple in the Big
Texas
12. Yep.
Tech at Oklahoma State's over under. We talked about this earlier. I'll keep it short and simple. Oklahoma State's not losing again at home. We've been talking about the senior night angle. They don't have fucking seniors on this team that play. Let me double check. They don't have seniors that play. It's all freshmen and sophomores and basketball. Yeah, freshmen and sophomores. They had Oklahoma beat, and you lose on a buzzer beater. It was a bad. I shouldn't say a bad shot. I mean, it wasn't a great shot, but man, that was a tough break at home for them. They've got they've got a fair amount of seniors. 6 seniors. I stand corrected here. Yeah, Weston Church, Michael Wright. So I mean, they've got some guys that are Sager. He doesn't play. Church, Dow. Yeah, I mean, most of these seniors that are playing are more bench riders for the most part. McBride. Yeah, these guys are averaging all less than like yeah. So I stand uncorrected. I don't think the senior day is going to affect this team as much because the guys that are going to be playing are not going to be um, going through all this. It's going to be warm ups. They're just going to wait for this, and then they're going to get on the floor. They don't have any pressure on them. Texas Tech on the road has not been pretty this year. Let me pull this up, and I'm loving what I'm seeing. 61% of people on covers are on Texas Tech here. Texas Tech won by 17 earlier this year. They are 3-6 on the road. They beat West Virginia by 3. They were down big in that West Virginia game too. I don't know if you
Yep.
had eyes on that. Yeah, they. Other than that, they don't win on the road. It's tough for them. I think Oklahoma State and off that buzzer beater. I think they get up for this game. They go out in style, and I think they get the going. Holy shit! Baylor's up 4 now. Oh my god.
Get the pokes out of here. I'm taking Texas Tech. I'll battle against you. Haven't bet it yet by any means, but I will battle you.
I haven't bet it either, but I think I have
But
to now.
I'll battle you there. I'm not betting Oklahoma State. This is the team, like you said, the bench warmer seniors. They got to get in the game somehow. How do they get in the game?
Blowing out Texas Tech. Only 2.5 on the road. Get the fuck out of here.
Opposite way. Texas Tech comes in and takes them, but yeah, I could see that. I could see both ways. So this is totally against the system. I see that line. I just want to take Oklahoma State, but I'm not betting them. So I did write Texas Tech in my notebook, unfortunately. So there we go. Let's battle in the ring. Little falls count anywhere match. So
Hold up. My brain is so off. Oh, they've played 2 other games before this. Jesus, my brain is not working. I don't even remember this UCF game they played. We're favored by 2. I don't remember that game whatsoever. But yeah, I mean, I still stand on that point that senior day is not going to affect them much. But I'm not going to bet this game. I don't even remember this UCF game. I thought they were going to be coming in off of that buzzer beater loss last home game. So still in Oklahoma State, but not going to bet this one.
is this next Big 12 game?
That's after this one. Georgia Tech,
Oh
Wake Forest.
God.
Anything on this? I thought you mentioned it earlier. That seems like a lot of points for Wake to lay.
Yeah, it does, but it also doesn't. Wake Forest kind of playing for an
They need
at-large
this.
bid. They need this after a little bounce back too. But they kind of have a look-ahead spot in Clemson. I guess you can call that a look-ahead spot on senior night. Don't love laying 13.5. Not my hype bet. But yeah, I lean with the Demon Deacons, um, for sure. Maybe even their team total. We'll see.
Man, Wake only covers at home.
Yep.
Back-to-back road games lost. Duke and Pitt wins at home, covered the spread. NC State at home, laying 8, they lost but won the game. Syracuse covered and won. Louisville covered and won. Louisville, they were laying 16 and they won by 25.
Yep.
Virginia, they won. Miami covered and won. Virginia Tech covered. Presbyterian. So they cover at home, they lose on the road. It's what they do. I think they fuck up Georgia Tech tomorrow. Tomorrow. Georgia Tech's coming in playing good, but Wake Forest at home need this game. They can't drop this game. They're not even going to let this be a game. The fact that Georgia Tech has covered 4 of the last 5, winning 3 of those, it feels like a bait spot. They're giving you 13.5 points with the team that's rolling right now. That's looking good. Wake Forest is at home. Can't lose this game. They roll teams at home. This is the last game. I think Salas and Hildreth probably ball out. They have big games. I think it's a Wake smash spot tomorrow. And don't be afraid of that big number because I think they're going to hammer them.
Yeah, I wouldn't be afraid of it either. I think that's a solid play. We'll see.
I mean,
We'll see. We'll see if I end up putting in my slip. But yeah, I lean the Deeks.
Wake was won by 29 at Georgia Tech earlier this month or earlier this year, February 6th. Now it's 13.5 at home. I think it's 13.5 for a reason because they're going to fuck them up by 30 again. I think it'll go under. This total, it's the same under or total. The last one was finished at 131, so it's a little suspicious that it's reopened at the same number as that. So I mean, who knows? Maybe it's like a 90 to 70 something game. Goes over. Wake Forest still covers, but it's weird that it reopened at the same number after it went under by 20 points.
Yeah, for sure. And I think Wake can definitely just cover that themselves. Not 153, but
They can put up 100 themselves.
yeah, I think they can cover their team total. That's for sure. So
I mean, let's go. Oh, their home games are putting up points too. 83 against Duke, 91, 83, 99, 90, 66 on Virginia, 86, 86. I mean, they're putting up points at home and
yep,
lots of them.
yep,
So,
and lots of them, and they definitely cover at home. So yeah, screw Georgia Tech, and they're
yeah, Wake.
I love it.
Wake minus 13 and a half. And what's this team total? This team total is like 84-ish.
Yep,
Maybe I'll look at getting cute and adding that because 82 and a half. 82 and a half. Why
82 and a
why
half.
would Georgia Tech, how could they slow down them enough to hold them to their lowest amount outside of Virginia? I mean, they've gone over this number 83 against Duke, 91, 83 again, 99, 90, 66 against Virginia, slowest team or great defensive team. 86 against Miami. Granted, that was an overtime game, but 86 against Vatech. Why is it 82 and a half? It's a
I
little
know.
suspicious, but the total has opened at the same same number. I mean, Wake at home, 71 possessions. They're averaging 66 in their last 3. Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech is averaging 70 in their last 3 and 71 on the road. So I mean, we could see, a decently paced game. I feel like just probably Wake 13.5 is probably the play. But that team total, I don't hate either. So I'm going to note it down too.
I like it. It's in my notes. I like it a lot actually. So
Yeah, maybe
yeah,
it's just we're catching a good number here and it'll climb up to 84, by tomorrow, by tip off or something. So
yep. Is
Yeah.
this our
But if
last
you had gun to your head, what would you do? Team total or the spread?
spread?
Spread. Yeah, I was feeling the same thing here. I mean,
But dude,
Georgia Tech went to Miami, one
don't
gave up
shoot me, dude.
76. Yeah, I mean, Virginia Tech and NC State got 80 plus on them. Otherwise, I mean, they played Louisville, Notre Dame, held them to under 80 or under 67 points each. So, I mean, do with that as you will. But yeah, probably seems like a Wake Forest smash. But yeah, cruising
Last game of the
along.
night. Last game of the
I
night.
got
Next
three more.
one.
I got three more on here.
Okay, cool,
Three more
nice.
bangers.
This is the
Kansas
this is the
State
one I was
catching 10 and
talking.
a half at Kansas. Over under 143. Take it away.
Is this Kansas team worthy of laying 10.5?
My rebuttal, everyone's expecting a bounce back. No
I
way
think
Bill Self and them lose again. Da 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 da. This is the worst team they've had that Bill Self has ever had at Kansas. McCullers
I
played last game though, so he'll probably be back.
yeah, I
But
think it's time for Kansas on that on
he's off an injury. How many minutes did he play last game?
Kansas State is not anything to get excited about though.
And
They
McCuller
ju-
played 32
this
minutes, so he's
there's a
back up.
revenge spot too. I hate 10.5 with
Mm.
Kansas though. If this was 7.5, I'd take it. I think 10 and 12 is a backdoor number for Kansas State, even if they're getting blown out, losing by 18 to 20, and then Kansas just like lets up at the end. But I don't trust this Kansas team as much to lay 10.5. But
Mm-hmm.
I I did write Kansas minus 10.5 down over Kansas State. No bet yet, but
I mean, let's look at this here.
they win 72 to 60. They win 78 to 64. I don't know.
I mean, you're not far off. I mean, Kansas at home, the last 10 against Kansas State, 12-point home win, 102-83 home win, 74-51 home win, 81-60 home win, 64-49 home win. Those have been much better Kansas teams. This Kansas team
Mm-hmm.
is not what it has been. They're coming off back-to-back losses. Can't tell you the last time that's happened, if ever, under Bill Self in the same season. Kansas State won two of their last three. They've covered both of their last three road games. They've covered 5 of the last 7 overall, going 3 and 4 straight up in that stretch. I mean, if you look at what the play might be, actually, Tyler Perry threes. I lean K State just as a quick side. Lean K State. If you look at what they've done, they've been playing a little bit better. I don't not sure I trust this Kansas team to win by double digits, but the fact that it's 10.5 feels kind of telling that they're going to fuck them up. That
Yeah.
they're offering you time with an interstate rivalry in the game, a team that people have somewhat liked a little bit this year. Kansas State has been a fairly decent covering team, 15 and 14. And they've covered 5 of their last 7, so people are kind of getting hip to them. Kansas has looked like shit. They've covered 2 of their last 7, so 2 and 5. I'm with you. I think Kansas actually fucks them up. I mean,
Let's
McCullers
go.
came back last game. I don't think he played in that game against them earlier, did he? And McCuller did. Yes, he did. So he must have got hurt a game or two after that. But yeah, double revenge spot, and the fact that it's the fog. This is it. Kansas State needed that Cincinnati game. Who do they have on deck? Iowa State at home. So, I mean, they could catch Iowa State. Iowa State on the road is not elite, not that great. So, I mean, they could catch that game, but it does feel like they know they probably have to win this Kansas game more just to have a better chance, just because of how down of a year It has been for Kansas, and the fact that they have beaten them, so they're going to have a little bit of confidence. I think first half, maybe Kansas State hangs on, maybe even has a lead. And then second half, Kansas opens it up and does their thing.
Yeah, I think I'm with you there, and I think there's definitely some other games that catch the eye that maybe have the better edge, but I'll back the Fog and sweat this 10 later on when it's around 8 to 12 late in the game. So
I got a better play though, and
is it
it's a
the
player
next
prop
game?
if you can get them. Nope, it's in this game. If you can get player props, Tyler Perry over threes. It's probably going to be 2.5 minus 130 ish. Love it. If you look at Kansas in conference here, 3 points attempted. They are averaging 42.2% of field goals attempted are 3 pointers. 36.3% of teams' points are coming from 3 point. Um, they're allowing 35.5% shooting from three. They're giving up the three ball. And what does Tyler Perry do? 6 of 8 from three. And I talked about this motherfucker on Saturday's show, and I didn't play it, and I'm regretting it. 6 of 8 from three, 6 of 11 from three against Virginia, 4 of 7 against BYU, 3 of 8 against Texas. TCU held them 0-6, BYU 1-9 on the road, 4-10, 5 of 9, 3 of 10. The dude gets volume. The dude gets volume.
Yep.
And when you got a Kansas team that's going to let you shoot that, no, obviously they're probably going to be a little bit more hip to it. He jacked it up 10 times on him last time, made 4 of them. So they're probably going to be a little bit more hip to it. But if it's 3.5, I'm not sure I want it. But if it's going to be 2.5 and less than 130 juice, I like his threes. And to be honest, actually, I might be able to see it now if they have this listed up here. I do not have props listed up here yet. No. So, yeah, I would if I had to, and you can get props in this game, I'd probably play Tyler Perry over threes. Um, in this one, I mean, he's just getting volume. Um, I should have played it last game, especially it was a must-win desperation game. He was going to be shooting. Same spot again, desperation game. They need to win this game. They need to contend. So I think Tyler Perry's probably going to be shooting some threes here in this game.
I like it. I like it. I like it a lot. I'll have to look and see if I got it or not. I think I do, but I'll double check. I like that call out though. He shoots like 5-10 a game. Feels like
Yeah.
sometimes, you know.
He does. He is shooting 32.6 on the road percent versus 35.1 at home, but on the road 2.7 threes made versus 8.4 shot average. So the exact same as home. At home 2.9 versus 8.4
Hmm.
shot. So he's getting the exact same volume on the road. 0.2 worse percentage on the road, but I think he's going to get the shots, especially this Kansas team that gives it up. And if you look at how many do they actually make? 3 pointers made. Kansas. You find these bastards.
Let me find these
Kansas.
bastards.
Last three, 9.7 threes made per game. At home, they're allowing 8.1. 287th in the country, 8.3 made per game. So this isn't just a little funk that they're going through. They're not stepping out and defending this year. So Tyler Perry over 2.5 threes. I'd say play it over 3.5. Step it down a little bit, maybe go a half unit or something if you want to play it. But he's fully capable of going off for 5, 6 3 pointers. I mean, um, you just look like I said, his last games, he's gone 12 of 19 in his last 2 games, and he's gone 16 of 26 in his last 3 games. So volume, and he's sitting at a high clip. So I mean, he's shooting 57%, 54, and 75% in the last 3 games. So I mean, now he's going against a team that doesn't shoot it or defend it. So yeah, I'm actually add it to my notebook.
Handy dandy notebook. What do we got next? Like, I like it.
Well, Mountain West action at night. Stinky 5.5 line.
What'd you
Nevada
say?
at Boise. Said little Mountain West at night. Stinky 5.5. Nevada at Boise. Yeah.
Bo-
What are you feeling in this game?
Holly and Boise. Take Boise at home. Mountain West teams at home been solid. This Nevada team, though, is pretty good. Watching them has been really fun. So um, I I just hate taking away teams in the Mountain West, as we've talked about before, but they've really been impressive. Nevada has top 50 on both sides of the ball, but think, you know, betting against the Mountain West is just not really a smart thing to do. So Dejan Hart, one of the best players ever. Just kidding, but he's one of the best players in Mountain West. They got a chance to take care of some business here, so I'll take Boise State on the spread there.
Yep. I'm with you. You look at what Boise's done. Home against New Mexico, 10-point win. At Air Force, fucking 31-point win. At Wyoming, 20-point win. San Jose, 32-point win. Fresno, 24-point win. They lost on the road to Utah State, Colorado State. They kind of got handled by double digits in those, but home against Air Force, 38-point win. They lost by 6 to Utah State. So, I mean, outside of Utah State, they are fucking up teams at home. Like,
Yep.
absolutely fucking them up. Now, Nevada is also doing the same thing. 8-point win. They got a 3-point win, buzzer beater at Colorado State. Hell of a game. 21-point win, San Jose State. 18 against Wyoming. Lost at UNLV, or won by 3 at UNLV. So, I mean, they've played closer games, but they've also kind of fucked up teams. But the teams they fucked up are the bottom feeders in the conference for the most part. Boise is not. This is their senior day. I understand that, but man, they're railing teams at home. But I hate this 5.5 number so much.
I do too, but I think
Boise.
all right. It's always that weird number,
Yeah.
I think, that we've talked about too. It's like it's a weird number to lay at home, and you think, oh, they can win by a ton, but maybe if they do, that it should be more, right? So, but I think I'm gonna lay it for Boise. I like it. I don't know why, but I love it.
Yep, I'd lean that way. I'm not going to bet this game, but I mean this game, it is another noticeable total here. Last game closed 139.5 in this year, January 12th of this year. Boise won 64-56 at Nevada as 6.5-point dogs. Excuse me. This total is opening up about 4.5, 5 points higher at 144, and that game went under by 19 points.
Yep.
So another odd spot. So maybe we could see Nevada, catches, punches Boise State in the face early after Boise's got their senior day. Nevada's looking to get some revenge here, and then second half Boise State kind of comes out and punches back and gets back in this game. So I think it'll probably end up being a tight game. I think Nevada will maybe get ahead of them early, but ultimately, I think Boise wins. The 5.5, I hate that number. I'll root for you, but I think we're going to see points here just because we get a little bit of a slow start from Boise, and Nevada comes out firing. And Blackshear should be back also.
That's true.
Did he play versus Fresno? No, he didn't play versus Fresno.
I don't think so. And they still were clipping buckets. So yeah,
they
think,
didn't cover, but they won by double digits.
I think you can't go wrong.
No,
it's gonna be a good bet. It's I think it's a good play either side, but I'm just gonna stick to the system that we love and know best. So
Nevada, Boise over. I hate totals, but this is just kind of seems like a spot. Yep. Last game that I have on the spot here, we can go break down other games if you want to have a game to talk about. San Diego State is laying 1.5 at UNLV. Over unders 136. A little Mountain West to end the night also. Fun fact: this is a rally towel game, I believe. I know it's dollar beer night. Yep, it's $2 beer night. Giving away 2,000 shirts and 3,000 rally towels. So I think this is probably going to be a little bit of a jump in environment. I know UNLV's let people down lately, and it's been kind of tough. But $2 beer night, where are you going to drink in Nevada, let alone Vegas, for that cheap? Even if people aren't big fans of hoops or whatnot, I'm gonna and they want to drink. $2 beer is hard to turn down. You go and spend a $10 ticket to get in. $2 beer, you get loud, you get a free shirt, you get a dish towel. Why not? A little Tuesday night action with the boys or something. Just go out for that. And UNLV has been playing great, 8-2 in their last 10 against the spread, 9-1 overall, straight up. San Diego State 5-5 against the spread, 7-3 straight up. On the road, they hit up Fresno by 32, lost to Utah State, lost to Nevada. Air Force was a 13-point win. Colorado State they lost to. So, they're on the road. They don't carry the same powers as they do at home in the Aviera Center or whatever it's called. So, I think UNLV. If you're again, this is a spot you're going to play this game. Play it on the money line because they're either going to win this game outright or they're going to lose by 8, 9, 10 points when San Diego State kind of pulls away late. So I'm going to say UNLV in this one, and Lon Kruger needs this game. This is the last home game. Lon Kruger has been, to start the year, he's kind of on the hot seat a little bit, and they've really just rattled it off the end of the season here. Conference play, they started bad. They was 3-2, 4-2 to start the conference season, and then since then they are 9-1. 9-1 since then. So they've rattled it off. This will be a huge win for them. They're obviously they're not going to get in the tournament, but or at least I should say I doubt it. But I like the spot for UNLV. I think it's going to be a rowdy ruckus environment. $2 beers. Students are going to show up. I mean, even if they don't go, students are not going to turn down $2 beers.
No.
So it's going to be a rowdy spot. I think UNLV wins this game outright, and it's a revenge spot. They went to San Diego State, lost by 11.
This is one I like don't want to bet the home team, but I think I bet the home team. I'm sticking to the system. Let's stick to this system, not stray away from the system. And I'm with you. How can I deny a $2 beer night angle? I think that's a great angle. Has no math value, anything statistician wise, other than just let's get lit and try to get some students in from Las Vegas. So let's roll the dice on UNLV, no pun intended. So shout out Las Vegas.
They went into New Mexico and won. They lost by 3 against Nevada at home, but they beat Colorado State. And they've dismantled teams that they're supposed to. 18 points against San Jose. They went on the road and got a 6-point win and covered against Wyoming. Air Force, they went to and won by 29 points. I mean, they're dismantling who they're supposed to. They're beating the big dogs. Nevada caught them. Tough game. They're 3-7 to the under too, so they're playing defense. This is going to be a nasty, sloggy game, but I think UNLV probably covers this game. What are they shooting free throw wise? In conference, they're shooting 74%, but they're getting to the line a ton. So this will be an interesting game. I'm excited for it. I actually think San Diego State probably gets a rude awakening before the tournament. I mean, you're going to get smacked in the face, and then Texas 7.5 betters are wow. Congrats on that cover. I think UNLV gets it to them. San Diego State catches a loss. And then they go in, they win their next game. Boise State at home. So that's a big game. I think they lose this game. They beat Boise, and they start to roll into the conference tournament here for the Mountain West, which is going to be an absolute banger.
Of a tournament. That's going to be a great one. That'll be a great one.
Top 5. That'll be better than I think it'll probably be better than Big Ten, maybe even the Big East, just because those two are so top heavy.
Well, good stuff, man. That was a great show. It's good to be back from the vacation and settling down for March.
How'd the vacation go? Where'd you go?
I went to Florida. I went to Anna Maria Island, Florida. It was a good time. It was fun. So well needed. Had my own little TV pad downstairs. I was watching some hoops on. So it was fun, man. It was a good time. But it was our first losing week last week in like 4 weeks. So we didn't lose in February. So
Yeah.
we'll take it, man. It is what it is. Was kind of away from my stuff, but screw that. I was drinking margs on the beach, Coronas, drinking Pacificos, Modelo's, all the cerveza I can get. So eating great seafood, can't beat it, man. So shout out, going to Florida is going down south in the winter is just good for the soul. So
Oh yeah. Well, I think it would only be right if we do a little two-teamer here. Little me and you, favorite play of the day, money line, spread, over under, anything tomorrow. What do you have? Because I'll tell you right now, Middle Tennessee plus 5.5 is my favorite play. If you can do, I'm not going to give a prop because you can't do props everywhere. So, yeah, I'm going to take Middle Tennessee plus 5.5 as my favorite play tomorrow.
Okay.
Just I'm
I'm
not
all
to put you on the spot.
I'm all about that. Let's see. I don't want to take a big spread. I feel like I have like a few big spreads in there. Do
I
I
know you're
take
looking
Ole
at that
Miss?
weight game, aren't you?
Do I take Ole Miss? I was. Um, like, do I take Ole Miss? Do I take Ole Miss? Shoot. Let's see. Let's go. Let's go. Ole Miss money line or UNLV. I kind of like it in your way. Uh, the line's probably reading Georgia, so but I did like Ole Miss. It's one that I called it out. Um, screw it. Let's do Purdue.
Purdue,
Yeah, let's do Purdue money
not
line.
not bad to have money line on Purdue.
Yep, let's do the
All
money line.
right, Middle Tennessee plus 5.5 and Purdue money line pays out 302. I'm offshore, so let me check actually DraftKings here. Because I have that book handy. They don't even have the Purdue line up, so just kidding. But
Crooked
we'll
guys.
say roughly about 3 to 1. Roughly about 3 to 1, maybe give or
I'll
take a
probably be
couple
around
cents here
there.
and there. So
Yeah.
yep. And I got Middle Tennessee's juiced minus 115, so it could even be better if you're finding like a 110 out there, or if you get 5. I think they win the game outright. But we'll play it safe and take the points. I will for sure be betting that game tomorrow. So that it may be the only game I bet, but
Money line
trying
parlay,
to
Missouri,
yes.
Illinois,
What's this money
or
line?
not Illinois,
I was
Missouri,
gonna say, huh?
Missouri, Georgetown, and Louisville.
Oh, nasty.
Just put like $5 on it, whatever. Call it a day.
Man, you gotta name that parlay. If you're parlaying Mizzou, Georgetown, and Louisville money line, you got to come up with something fucking a
That's
name for
the
that.
that's the metal tasting hot dog that's been at your local speedway, just circling all day. You're just
The
hungry.
roller
It's like
bite
later.
combo, the roller
It's
bite parlay.
it's late. It's later in the day. You just bite into it. It just tastes like straight freaking metal, like you're hitting a
It's been
cart
rolling
back
around
in
on a.
college days. It's
It's been rolling
awful.
around for 3 hours.
Awful. Awful. I shouldn't even advise that. Maybe hit the edit button and cut that out early and we'll call it out. Well, it's good
For
stuff,
sure.
man. I'll
Oh
tweet
yeah.
out the rest of my plays and I also got some conference tournament brackets that I'm finishing up and doing some write ups there. So stay tuned to my Twitter for that. I just did some ace stuff today, and we went 2-1 on my write ups, taking queens. And
I'm pissed I didn't play them. Oh, they're
lost
staring at
lost
me in the face.
lost the over on that game. But we won the over with ease in Jacksonville, Kennesaw State. So it was a fun start
Oh yeah.
to conference.
Yep. And hand up. I shouldn't have bet what's their nuts today, NC State, but tomorrow's a new day. This 2 month cold stretch ends tomorrow. I can feel it in my bones.
It ends tomorrow,
So
and we get some units back on our two-team bro parlay. And stay tuned for my two-team moneyline parlay as well, because that is coming from Oklahoma as one of them. too as well.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, good shit. And Notre Dame's on the 15. Oh, it's moving.
Oh, it's
All right.
it's
Well,
moving. They're fading the boys. They're fading them. That's funny as
all right,
fuck.
well, great show, and we'll see you guys tomorrow to break down the March 6th and some conference picks.
Absolutely.